Done? Okay.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa alaikum
I
assalam
hope
wa
everybody's
rahmatullah.
having a good evening. I am Humaira Salmin, and we are back with another session of CMI Social Awareness and Community Reach Projects. Tonight, we have my co-host, Ms. Farah Rizwan, and
Assalamu
our
alaikum.
special guest, Ms. Zareen Mumtaz Chaudhary.
Assalamu
Please,
alaikum.
would you be so as nice as to introduce yourselves? Farah, Miss, please start.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Farah Rizwan. I am working as the academic head of CMIS. I have also worked as the former assistant professor in AIUB, and I have been in this profession for the last 20 years. So, Alhamdulillah, I have gathered a lot of experience with children and their issues. Zareen, Miss Zareen?
Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Zareen Mumtaz Chaudhary. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for arranging such an amazing event on a much needed topic to discuss and for inviting me to share my opinion. So I have been working as a faculty at North South University since 2019. Even before that, I started working with children, specifically on the raising awareness regarding psychological and physical well-being of female and children. So I'm really very happy to join today's event. I hope this event will be beneficial for everyone who are going to join us.
Okay, thank you for the description about your topic. And we understand that child abuse is a very sensitive topic, right? And it's a topic which is like a can of worms. Once it opens, we can keep on talking and talking about it. So what does basically we understand by child abuse is that child abuse can be like various types, and the nature and extent of it can be against children irrespective of their age, their gender, or their social status or things like that. And it can even be due to things like unavailability of proper education. It can be due to nutrition deficiencies. It can be any social connections, so children can, I believe, or we all know, there has been many research on this, and that children can be exposed to physical, mental, and even sexual abuse. So for today's topic, we are trying to keep it very small. We are going to focus on making sure, like identifying the issue, and then trying to make awareness of this amongst the parents. So for to keep it very short, we have just named our today's session as child abuse. Let's act and talk, right? So Ms. Zareen, would you try to start us on this topic and why we are going to be talking about it today?
Yeah, thank you for giving me the floor. So I would like to start with experience from which I started working on this topic. So a few years back, one day a thought came into my mind, why not I start pertaining knowledge or information to my neighborhood kids, or more specifically to the kids of my acquaintances related to this a good touch and bad touch, to be very short and specific. So I was wondering, since they are going to very good school, reputed school, they are doing good with their curriculum and so on, but do they get this kind of very much needed information, knowledge, assistance from their schools or not? So from that thought, I planned that I would be arranging a bake and talk session, so that I can make it very light and I can make them feel comfortable to get whatever the idea they're going to encounter, and talk about this such a sensitive issue in a very regular manner, in a normal manner. So the sample size, I mean, the acquaintances kids number were very few, like only 4 kids were there. So I invited them at my place. Once I was done with showing them a very brief video made by a NGO related to the good touch and bad touch, one kid came to me and said, my teacher, my home teacher does this to me. So I was so shocked and I was so unprepared for this kind of incident, because I was not so sure that from such a small sample size, I will get a victim and let about doing something else as the next step. So I was paused for a few minutes, and then I decided to talk to her parents. And when I talked to her mom specifically, her mom was also very shocked like me. So I asked her, didn't she tell you anything about the teacher? And no hint she gave ever to you so that you could understand. She said very indifferently that my daughter used to tell me, I don't want to go to this teacher. I don't want to study from this teacher. I don't want to get lesson from this teacher. Only that's it. So I said, so didn't you try to know that why she is saying that, why she is behaving like that? So then she said, no, I thought maybe she's trying to skip this study. So I was a bit taken aback from her this statement. However, there are 2 points I would like to retrieve from this entire experience. Number one, this one, that the parent got the idea, got a question from her kid, but somehow they could not understand. And on the second note, when the parents tried to talk to their daughter that now what do you want? What do you want us to do? The kid being very naive, and I would say that was heat of the moment that the kid was trying to escape, and she said, just let the teacher go. I don't want to do anything. And secondly, the serious matter started from here. Once the teacher was gone, then the kid started showing some psychological disorder. Her point was two. Number one, why it happened to me. Number two, why my parents did not do anything from my behalf, why they did not punish the teacher, although I told them not to do anything, but they should have taken some steps from their self. So kind of piled up aggression, kind of piled up complaint against their parents for not understanding what she tried to say over the time, but maybe she did not have the idea, she did not have the proper words. So this made her so sick that after a certain point she was so disturbed, she had to go for the counseling. Until today's date she is going to a psychiatrist on a regular basis, which stemmed from this incident. So from this particular incident, actually I started thinking about why don't I work on this topic to raise awareness among as many kids, as many adults as possible, so that I can at least make even handful people aware about this. At least few lives will be at peace. So from there, actually, I started working on it. So yes, this was the journey how I started working on well-being.
Okay.
Farmis, would
Yes.
you like to continue?
Yes, please. From the story that we already heard, this is very touching, okay, and so disturbing at the same moment. Um, I would like to start like this, that Alhamdulillah, we would like to say that in CMIS, we take this issue very seriously, and we try to talk to our children about this topic on a very early stage. You know, not letting them know what we are discussing, but having sessions with them, letting them know what is a safe circle, letting them know when they should be comfortable, and it is okay to tell their parents, it is okay to tell us, and it is okay to talk about it. So that is one point I just wanted to mention. And on the second note that Ms. Zareen was pointing, you see that as parents, we all are parents, and the thing to note is that why will our children not be comfortable talking to us? And when our children or child, when my child comes and says something to me, it is very important that I have the time to listen to the child. Even if I am very busy, I can tell the child, please, I am very busy now, I'm coming back to you. So, you know, otherwise he will think or she will think that the parent is not taking me seriously. And even if my child is, you know, children are like that, they want to skip their studies and all that. And many of the cases, I'm sure all of us and many of us have heard stories of children being abused by uh, very sad to say home tutors. Okay. And not only that, there are people we think safe in our circle, and it could be a very close person in our family, it could be a very close friend. So when it comes to my child, My child is the most important person in my life. And if my child is complaining about someone whom I think highly of, and it's okay, I can still listen to the child. And if he's accusing of, if she's accusing someone who I cannot believe have done something like this, let me verify, let me find out. It could be that the child is lying. It's okay, but there is no harm verifying, trying to find out if there is a bit of truth in the child, what the child is saying. That's very important. And another issue that I find, being the mother of two sons, uh, a lot of people tell me that you are safe because you have sons, you don't have a daughter. And I completely disagree with this point. Okay, and we need to raise awareness among our circle, that just because we have, you know, male children does not mean that the child is safe. There are 2 points to note here. One is, I need to protect my child, even if he is a son, if he's my son. Secondly, I need to prepare him, that so that he does not become an abuser. He's only 10 years old, 9 years old. He's going to be 9 years old in a week. But I still think like that, because if I am not prepared from the moment, if I do not have the mindset, then I will always defend my son, and I don't want to do that.
Yes, and two things I would like to mention here. Number one, as Farah Miss said, that we have to listen to our children. And sometimes as parents, we also need to keep this thing in our mind. Kids do not have the proper words always to explain what they're going through.
True.
As parents, we need to understand their silence. As parents, we need to understand their gesture, their everything. If there is something that they're keeping silent, they're being silent for a few seconds in reply of my any question, I need to be careful on the second. This is the duty. This is the instinct we should grow as parents, because children, if they would have the words to say, then our responsibility could not be so big, right? So here is one point. And second thing is that many times, most of the time, what is the case that we found, students juggle to find out how to say the approach. Even the kid who encountered this incident, I asked her, why you shared with me, but you could not. I mean, she said me in a ziffy. As soon as I had finished the video, she came to me like, we are not blood related. She loves me so much for her own reasons, for the childish reasons for she has. But she came to me all on a sudden, instantly, and she could tell me, open up without thinking anything else. So this thing, once when I asked her, why you did not share this with your parents, she said, I did not know how to say it. So this way, how to say, if the child needs to juggle so much that how he or she should say this to their parents, then what others will understand? So we as parents will have to give the comfort to our kids, or
Miss,
we as responsible elders will have to give this comfort to our kids, that you can say the void of words, the void of tone, we will make it up. As a parents, we will make it up. You just speak up. You just make the habit of speaking up. This is the thing I wanted to add on.
Yes, Miss. Adding to that, when before even we think that my child is going through a problem, or my child is showing signs of puberty, adolescence, even then, because child abuse can start on a very early stage.
Surely.
At a very early stage, I can be very protective. I can keep the child to myself, always. But one point of time, that doesn't happen. And I think as soon as I understand, my child is able to understand what I say, I should be the first one to talk about it. I should not wait for the child to come and complain and then explain that these things happen, because by that time it might be too late.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
instead,
True.
if as what we are doing, I'm sure a lot of us are doing it at home, and as a school we are also doing it, that we make the child aware first, you know, these, if somebody approaches you, if this is okay and this is not okay, it is very important that as parents, and even sometimes we must involve the father also. It's
Yes.
very important. Mostly the mother is involved, and I agree that the mother has Allah has given some the mothers the more understanding nature, calm nature to, you know, deal with such sort of situation and topic. That's fine. But the involvement of the father, you know, being there together, we can talk about it with our children, that, you know, we are here, you can tell it to any of us, and you know, opening the doors, as you said, Misery, that we should open the doors. And another point that you raised, that they don't have the words. Okay, so if my child is trying to say something to me, I could suggest some words. Do you mean this? Do you mean
Yeah.
that?
True.
Has this
Exactly.
happened to you? Did somebody tell you something like this? You know, you can encourage and you know, suggest some words, and 2 3 words the child says, and you will understand where this is headed.
Exactly, exactly. We have to intrigue the answers. We have to make them comfortable that yes, my mom, my dad is, they are understanding my point maybe a bit more, and they can get my point. So in this way, and of course, another thing you just said, we have to be gender neutral, both in
Exactly.
case of the victim and both in case of the responsible
Yes.
adults. Like
Yes.
this is why when I was making the description of my platform well-being, I categorize it only as children, because children, be it male, be it female, they are one category, they will get the same kind of awareness, and another one is female, that's a separate part. So this is why that we will have to make this thing set in our mind. The victim can be male, the victim can be female, the molester, sorry to say this word to be very specific, or sorry to use this word in order to understand, but the abuser or the person who makes other feel, the kids specifically, so vulnerable, they won't differentiate between the gender, they do not differentiate based on the gender, because if they would understand gender, if they would understand the vulnerability, if they would understand age, then these occurrences wouldn't happen. So we have to understand it, our awareness and our understanding, our catering, our nurture, our assistant, this all will have to be gender neutral. And also in terms of counseling, in terms of awareness raising, the caregiver or the responsible parents or responsible elders who are taking up the responsibility to make the kids aware, to make the kids feel prepared, so they, that will also have to be gender neutral. The reason is that mom or mother is always being understood that mother will take care of this, mother will take care of that. At the end of the day, you will find that everything will be taken care of the mother. Okay, that's fine, I agree. But what if in the heat of the moment or during the moment it encountered, the child needs to have someone's assistance, the mother is not around? What if? Where the child will go? Will the child wait for the right time and will remain being treated like that? So here is the point that we will have to be gender neutral when we are going to raise this awareness, when we are going to be much more educative in terms of this kind of thing. And as parents, we have to work as unit, or as responsible elders, we all will have to work as a unit. So this is the thing
Yes.
where we should emphasize on.
And
Okay.
as you said, being gender neutral, you say the, you know, the abuser can be a male and the abuser can be a female. Okay,
Yes.
most of the time I think 90% people think that the abuser is a male, but abuser can be a female as well.
As
And
well, right?
another issue is the abuser is not always an adult.
Yes. Yes, I agree completely. And these
Because
points almost
So I
go
wanted
off
to,
our head.
yes,
Yes.
Sumara Miss, you were saying something.
yes. So I wanted to exactly add on to this point. So like my question was that we all know about this. So Miss just said that the abuser might not be an adult, might be somebody who is a teenager or somebody who does, oh, you know, it can be any. So what are the things you have faced in the time that you have worked with this group or with this well-being? What are the entry points you have seen that the entry of abuse starts from where? Like you, the last time we spoke, you were mentioning that it can be housemates, it can be the caretakers, the drivers, it can be family members, or it can be a guest of the family, or you know, it can be somebody. It's this is like basically when there is contact or something like that. And then there are places like kids are scared to go to the market, they're scared to go to any public places, because we have to all understand that the society is not educated on this at the same rate, and there are so many people in public places who have lewd intentions. So what are the, when you were working with these children, what were the most common sources or
Okay, first of all, that will not be surprising for us who are working on this kind of thing, but maybe surprising to the listeners, to the adults, to the parents that most of the time, if it is a repeated case of this kind of treatment to the kids, mostly the abusers are from acquaintance group. Abusers are from your family, either abusers are from that group who are having contact with you in a regular basis. Number one. Number two, this is more likely to happen. The reason is that yes, when you're taking your kids outside, say for an example, market, say for example, mall or any outside places, somehow psychologically you become a bit protective. So there becomes a barrier. You can create a barrier by yourself to protect your child. So, but when you are inside the home, when you are among your acquaintances, among your known people, your family member, somehow you tend to be flexible on the basis of the trust you have piled up over the time, over the years. So this is why the chance of being repeated abuse when increases when it's about acquaintances, and mostly I have seen the same thing. See, about that incident, the parents could not catch the matter, and it happened for like 6 months or more than that, I guess. So it happened from the own circle. Even if you take a random question, a random questionnaire, even if you take random response, you will get instantly majority of the victim will name from their own group, their known groups. So this has happened. And about the age group of victims, yes, I found that 8 years plus 8 years plus girls and boys tend to be fall more in the victim category. So yes, there is also the point of surely, as Farah Rezwan said, that there are many kids probably who went through this kind of treatment even before they could understand what they are going through. But somehow, if we take about the explicit reference, explicit experience sharing, then I will have to take this 8+ years old as the major criteria as a victim.
Miss, also mentioning to this, adding on to this point, you see, you were saying that we are very comfortable when we are in our home, or go to a relative's house. You know, we tend not to look after our child. They are playing, they are doing whatever, and we are together sitting in. Sometimes I notice, and I am very vigilant on this, so that children's play and they close the door,
Yes.
and even there could be no adults over there, and you think, oh, bachara, they are playing, it's okay, they are only children and they are playing. But um, accidents can happen there as well, unintentionally. Okay, but you do not know when interest of the child will go to a different direction. So it is better to always keep an eye on children. they have to be supervised. That's the thing. They're children after all. This is our responsibility. We
Yes,
cannot
this
leave
is
them
what I mentioned.
unsupervised.
Exactly. This is what we have to make sure. We can trust, but there should be a difference between trust and blindly trust. This is the
Yes.
point.
Yes. Humaira Miss,
So,
any other?
yes. No, what I wanted to, because we don't have that much time today. So the next portion of the, like, we were talking about building a safe circle and other things, like how they can talk, what are the vocabularies that they can use, like the parents can supply to the children to start the discussion. We will be talking about that, and there is a power pan that Miss Zareen would like to show us. We will be keeping those things for the next half of the session, which is next week. But for today, I wanted to discuss with Ms. Erin how many of the children, like you already spoke about your starting situation with that child, is that the victimization. So, why me? How many of the children that you have worked with has had to ask somebody, why me?
Majority, I would say majority. If you ask me about the percentage, that why me, that hovers on almost on the majority, but the case is a bit different in that sense. Few can adjust with it according to the along with the time as soon as the time passes by, and few cannot. Who can, that's okay, that doesn't show up, but who cannot, that comes out like problems I just said. So majority, I would say, hovers on with the problem, deals with the problem like why me. Few can understand, few can rationalize. See, we all know that psychology and your maturity and your ability to adjust is way different than somebody else. So that matters here. And sometimes children, after counseling, as soon as the time passes by, they share with their very, very close friends. And if they can match the experience the same, they can understand, they can console themselves that, okay, this is not only me, but few, despite knowing that or not knowing that, cannot overcome this situation. So there is a problem. However, this why me is a question that everyone more or less has to go, more or less.
Okay. So I would like to add on to this is that when you say the child is asking why me, how many times have you faced the parent go through this? Are they feeling guilt? Are they feeling hopelessness? What is the situation going through over there?
As parents, of course, when they say that why me, uh, almost all the parents go through the same dilemma, that how to answer, how to encounter, especially the situation gets worse with them, who could not understand the situation beforehand, who could not tackle it by themselves. Like maybe they had to know from a third party like me, maybe they had to know someone else, maybe they had to know from a big incident. For them, the situation is even worse, like guilt from both of these sides. Guilt number one, they could not detect it earlier. Guilt number two is that my kid is asking me something that I cannot actually answer in a way which can console him or her. So all the parents, as I said, for like the answer of the previous question, all the parents have to go through. Being parents and seeing your children to go through the plight causes same kind of pain, be it the
Miss, here
first
I
time,
think
the second time.
Miss, here I think there is a social discretion. Like uh, people do not feel comfortable going to a counselor.
Of
Okay.
course, they
They,
don't feel comfortable.
so if
True.
we are not
There
as
is a
parents,
social
if some,
stigma.
yeah, exactly, if I experience something that I am not specialized in handling, I cannot answer my child, so I should seek help, because my child's future, my child's well-being comes first. And if people say that, oh, you need to go to a psychiatrist, it does not matter. It does
Of
not
course, it
matter
does
what
not
people
matter.
if what people says does not matter, but I should be able to counsel my child properly, and I need professional help. That's it. It should be as simple as that, and we should be talking about it more and more. This is the reason we are doing it, because it can happen to
Yes,
any
we should
of us.
normalize it.
We should normalize it, because it is happening and we're trying to hide it, and our children are getting uh, abused by us because we are not talking about it. This is
And
another kind of abuse.
and also they are getting the point, maybe since majority are not talking about it, this is something we should not talk about as well.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
is one thing. And on the another hand, more and more parents are hesitating that others are not saying something, others are, I mean,
Hmm.
others are made up by us. We
Hmm.
make up the entire society, I, you, and others. So for that always starts with I, you see, not others. That society and everything always starts with I. So I have to make sure what I have done, that I should have done. So this is what I should make sure as a individual, as a parent. So here, from here, actually, we should start doing our main responsibility.
Okay. So, Ms. Zareen, I would like to ask you another question, and that is, so if I, as a parent, want to educate myself about good touch or bad touch or how to talk to my child, what organizations are available that are, like, doing really good work? And also, where should I search? Like, there are so many content on the internet. So, what type of content should I be researching myself before I talk to my child?
Okay, before, as a parent, if I am planning to talk to my child, so number one, if it comes about the age, I should not actually wait for, okay, six, statistics say 6 to 7, 6+ years kid get abused mostly, so let's wait for 6 years. First of all, when you are thinking about educating your children about this kind of thing, as early as they understand your language, they understand your command, and you understand how they can grasp the words, you should make a small approaches, small little approaches that will build up the entire habit. Number one. Number two, if you are thinking about the resources by yourself, there are many videos in the internet, released by the many responsible organizations, made video by the BRAC and different other kind of NGOs. Those are very handy, comprehensive, that anyone can understand, of any age, of any vulnerable age. So as a parent, you watch it first. Videos I found is more handy and works even better in terms of showcasing what I need to make my kids understand, at straight. So you watch it first as a parent, you understand it properly, then you customize the statements according to your own way, what fits your children, what your children understand. If you are thinking about the organizations, and organizations like mine one that is working on this issue well-being, that is there. If you want to have a one-to-one session, you can also raise these issues to your children's academic institution where the children is studying. For sure, many and many schools like yours now are nowadays are recognizing this matter. They're identifying this matter. They're talking about this. If you talk to them, they can be the first stop to raise this awareness, to make this topic really very highlighted with the concerned authorities' help. And apart from that, if you want your child to be assisted in a proper way, if such kind of incident has already encountered, as far as one Ms. has said, I would request and I would try to give you the comfort. Please do not hesitate to go to the child psychologist. This is a matter of your child's entire life. Sometimes we don't understand until the child starts showing some misconduct, starts showing something, some disoriented behavior. We do wait for that, but you don't wait for that. You as a parent, if you have already found out something has encountered, something has already happened, try to focus on your child's behavior. If you are relieved as a parent that no, she's in a good track, he's in a good track, she or he has understood already, then it's okay. If you don't think that the child is getting okay, being better, being okay with the incident, please go to the professional help. And there are many eminent psychologists, there are many eminent child psychiatrists who are working with that, who are making this issue even more understandable because they're professional who are working on this type of things.
Okay. Ms. Zareen, one of the questions that we are getting many questions on Facebook. So one of the questions that really is related to what we were talking about, is that building trust. How do we go along building trust with our children? So one viewer has mentioned, like, maintaining a proper bedtime routine, like at the end of every single day, a parent finds out or makes time, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes time, sits down and talk to their child about everything that the child has done throughout the day. And then,
Exactly.
you know so throughout the years, over the years, if a routine like this exists in the child's life, I'm sure the parent will be comfortable to discuss, and the child will also be comfortable to inform. So this is one of the things that the viewers are mentioning, and there are many questions coming along. So we will be collecting them, and inshallah getting back in next week for another session. And over there
Inshallah.
we will be talking about the preventing measures that can be
Yes.
doing, like
Yes.
building a safe circle. We'll talk about, because we are getting questions like that at present due to the COVID and the pandemic situation. Most parents are working from home, and they're extremely busy. They can't, even though they are physically present at home, they're still not present in the child's life. So what are the things that they can do, or what are the things they can set up? So, like, whether if necessary, they can set up a CCTV camera in their room, or things like, all these things. So we will be talking about this inshallah next week. And Miss Farah Rizwan, if you have anything to
Yes,
say, please
adding to
go ahead.
that, Miss, definitely we will be talking about how to handle puberty. This is very important because I think this is the root cause. Because if it is puberty is not handled, this is how the abuser is being created. So inshallah, we have so many questions coming up, and we will be answering that, all three of us. That's from me also.
Okay, Ms. Erin, would you like to add anything?
Okay, this was nice to join such an event, as I already said at the very first beginning, and I hope to answer and I hope to respond as many questions as possible, inshallah, on the next session. And we three, inshallah, we will try our best to come up with a more compact strategies that adults or responsible adults or even the parents can take up for raising the awareness among their child related to this issue, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay,
Okay.
so in the time being, we will be leaving down the information to well-being in the comment section. The email address will also be there. If any parent or anybody caregiver wants to, reach out anonymously, that is most welcome. We are
Yes,
all
yes,
here
for
so
sure.
that we can take care of the society and raise awareness about different issues. Okay, inshallah. Then I would like to say a very good night to everybody. Thank
Good
you for
night from
joining
my
us
side
today.
as well. Thank you,
Good
everyone.
night. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, thank you very
Assalamu
much.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Assalamu alaikum.